Hello everyone, this is Dave, your disembodied announcer voice, and welcome to the first ever premium live event of Total Bardic Combat. No. Get the camera focused on me. Yes. No. This is awful, genuinely awful. We have 4 fans now and they deserve better. I shall consult the ring wraiths. Yes, this does look better. Proceed. Yes. Here we are at the TBC Stadium, and we are ready now for the first ever TBC PLE, the Battle of the 4 Armies, where all 4 contenders for the Warlord's belt are going to fight each other in ritual combat. The winner's been decided, but this is for everything. Now, in a 4-way fight, things are basically the same. The rules are to be the person with the most dosh worth of wrestlers at the end. It's slightly harder to work out purely because there are far more people in the ring. So, starting up, we have got our first initiative roll. It's going to be Andre the Hill Giant for the Green Bruisers, getting nothing. It's going to be the Axolotl Cutie for the Triassic 5, getting 2. It is going to be El Estamago for the Lords of the Ring, also getting 2. And lastly, Centurion King for the is going to get 3. It is official. The Heavy Pounders are going first. Centurion King mounts the turnbuckles now in glorious 3D, and he takes a jump off for a 450-degree splash, blam, straight onto Cody Trax. He gets 9 on the offense versus 3 on the defense. He has beaten it by 6. That is going to be even more damage, and he's going to shove him back into Kurt Anklebreaker, which is just a brutal start for this fight. Continuing the offensive, Centurion King is going to move in, and he's going to attempt another grapple. Silver and a copper +1 gets him 2 versus 2 silver and a copper of 4. It is blocked, but it is not reversed. Next up, El Estamago is going to move into the center of the ring, and he's going to start taking some hits on Bulk Bogan. He's not the most accurate. He's just going to take some brawl attacks, getting 3 versus 3, blocks on the first one, second attack, 4 versus 4, blocked on the second attack, third attack, 3 on 4, oh no. The Ogre is absolutely just shutting this down, 4 versus 4. That is all absolutely blocked as El Estamago now moves into the center of the ring. While this is going on, the Axolotl Cutie is going to run into the middle of the ring and is going to attempt a love lock on El Estamago. 1 copper to hit is 1. Copper and a gold to defend is more. Can try it again, so she may as well. That is 1 versus 4. There is no love locked in this arena. It's Andre the Hill Giant's turn to play. 1, 2, 3. He is going to stand directly in the way of the Stubby Dunker, and he's just going to punch him right in the face. There's 3 silvers on the offense, only one. 2 silvers plus 1 on the defense for 5. That is blocked by 4, ending Andre the Hill Giant's action immediately. Determined to finish Cody Trax as quickly as possible, CM Gutter Snipe runs up and just starts punching him. It's a silver and a copper plus 1, 4. 5 versus a silver and copper for 3, that is 1 damage. Second attack gets 4 versus 3, that's 2 damage. Third attack, that is 5 versus 6, that is no damage. And lastly, that is 4 versus 4, that is no damage. 2 damage from the trading of blows. It may be enough to take him out if someone else can now capitalize on this sheer amount of brutality. Pinta Madeira runs up to his buddy El Estamago and dives over with an escado. He lands in the middle, and it is a brutal attack. It's going to hit both of them. And he does 4. 4 is not bad. Andre the Hill Giant gets smacked by it. And the Axolotl Cutie gets smacked even harder. That is a ton of damage in the middle of the ring there. With the Axolotl Cutie knocked down, Pinta Madeira is going to attempt to just get it out of the arena by pinning it. It gets nothing. That is 1, 2, 3. Pinta Madeira makes the first pin of the match. And lastly, this tiny ball of energy is going to turn back around. And he is going to punch Andre the Hill Giant in the back. He gets nothing. He gets 1 because he is El Capitan versus only 3. That is not enough to reverse, but it's also not enough to actually do anything. Thoroughly ignoring Andre the Hill Giant, the Stubby Dunker is going to turn sideways and is going to attempt an Iron Claw Slam on Harris, the poor goblin standing right next to him. He gets 5 versus a defense of 3. That is 1 damage, but the real problem is he is now knocked down. And that means that now he could just be kicked with no defense. Getting 5. Ugh, that is even more damage. And he is punted. He is punted back too. With the Stubby Dunker just following up, ready to do a pin. He just steps on him with 1 foot. The defense is 3. And that is 1, 2, 3. The poor goblin is out of there. The crowd go absolutely nuts. It is a crowd action. So that's a cheer. They go absolutely mental. And the Stubby Dunker toughens up, making him even tougher to take out for the rest of the round. Norbert is going to attempt to save his mate by getting up onto the turnbuckle, and he is going to go for the Green Eagle flying overhead. That is 4 coppers on the offense, getting a total of 6 attack versus 2 silvers on the defense for nothing. Oof! That is going to be a bunch of damage, and he is dazed for a cheer, which is absolutely nothing. But he is still kind of just having to defend himself from the Goblin Brawler, who is now just going to start smacking him. It's only 2 coppers versus 2 silvers, but he only needs to do 2 points of health. 1 defense, one offense versus 3 defense, and his last attack, 1 offense versus 6 defense. That is a reversal of 5. Oh my god. Okay, that is shoved 2 back, and that is a point of damage on poor Norbert himself. It's time for Slamwise Gamgee to take to the turnbuckle and perform his half fling, landing down there and slamming straight into Cody Trax. Takes 6 on the offense versus nothing on the defense. That is Cody Trax down and KO'd. It's chaos in here. It's chaos. That also leaves Slamwise Gamgee with 2 action points left to attempt to pin. First one, he's no defensive 0. 1, 2. Oh no, he kicks out. Second one has a defensive 3. 1, 2, kicks out again. Cody Trax is still more or less alive, but things are looking dire for the superstar. It is time for Pajaro de Fuego to come in and do his uno, dos, Pajare eliminado. Again, trying to get Andre the Hill Giant. He gets 3 silvers on the attack for 1. Versus 2 coppers and a silver on the defense. For 3, that is not enough to finish him. Certain he is not going to win a fist fight with a troll. He's then going to move around here, and he is going to attempt to punch poor Norbert in the back of the head. It's a copper plus 1 on the offense for 1, not a copper with nothing for 2 on the defense. 1 last action point for 4 versus nothing. That is a bonus point of damage as well. Norbert is not happy about life, but he's also not down. The Gecko Fire Breather sees his time. He's going to run up here and use a fire breath and a straight line down there. He gets 3 on the offense. Andre the Hill Giant gets 2 and takes the damage. And Pinta Medea behind him gets nothing and also takes the damage. With the success of the first attack, he's going to do it again. That is 2 for the poor bastards in front of him. Andre the Hill Giant absolutely blocks it and reverses it. And Pinta Medea just blocks it. That was not quite as effective, but it is still slightly counteracting Andre's regeneration. While all of this carnage is going on, Kurt Anklebreaker is going to mount the turnbuckle, and he is going to jump down with a Das Splat directly onto CM Guttersnipe. 3 copper plus 1 on the offense for a total of 7 versus 2 silver on the defense. 4 is not enough. That is going to be CM Guttersnipe down. And Kurt Anklebreaker has exactly 2 action points left to attempt to stun him, to pin him. The first defense of 2. 1, 2. He kicks out. Second defense is 2. 1, 2. He's fine. Oh my God. What is going on? Nobody's getting pinned. It's carnage. It's carnage, I tell you. Bulk Bogan has had enough, and he is going to walk 2 squares up to here, and he is simply going to attempt to pick El Estamago up and chuck him out the ring. He manages to get a 4 on the offense versus a 7 on the defense. That is enough to block, but he does get a second attempt. That is nothing on the offense, 3 on the defense. he may as well just try picking him up. Just keep him there for the next round. 4 versus 3. El Estamago has been picked up. Now the halflings are going to have to try and defend him. To try to rescue his buddy, Ray Fantomatico is going to use Dom Sucia as a turnbuckle jump off, and he is going to land at P. Peludo Lave directly on Bulk Bogan's head. It is a grand total of a gold and a copper +1 for 3 versus defense of 3 silvers for 5. He's just going to run back and he can do it again. Same attack, same attempt, for this time getting 4. 4 versus 6. Oh no, he's got 1 point left. And the only thing he can possibly do in this situation is attempt a grapple. It's stupid, but he may as well. For 2 versus 1. The grapple does succeed, causing a point of damage, but that's still not enough to really do anything of value. The Pterodacrobat gets up on the turnbuckle and does a shooting star slash directly across these, doing 2 damage to Andre the Hilljoint and landing directly on top of Norbert. It does an attack of 4 versus defense of 0. That is enough damage to bring down Norbert as well. And now, the only thing it can possibly do at this point is just start trying to pin everyone. It's going to start with CM Gutter Snipe. Just 2, that is 1, 2, 3. Oh, he just kicks out at 2.5. He has 2 action points remaining. Going to try CM Gutter Snipe again. Defensive 2, 1, 2. Kicks out again. 1 last attempt. Defensive nothing. 1, 2, 3. CM Gutter Snipe is out. That's not quite as good sheer amount of violence as I'm sure the poor dinosaur was hoping for. The only thing left for the Green Bruisers to do is see if Cody Trax can revive and get to his feet. He needs a cheer. He does not get a cheer. That is absolutely nothing. Now, the lastly for the heavy pounders, Footlock Baggins is going to mount the turnbuckle, where he is then going to dive in slow motion. He's going to land there, and he is doing his bowling bomb directly on the top of the Pterodacrobat. That is 2 silvers on the offense for 4 versus 1 copper on the defense for nothing. That is 4 damage, which immediately KOs the Pterodacrobat. Okay, he's going to go for 1 attempt to pin the Pterodacrobat. That is 3 on the defense. 1, he kicks out. And then he's going to move in here. He's going to do 1 attempt to try and pin Cody Trax. 3, 1, he kicks out. It's still carnage. He is damaging his own body in order to get more pins. This is crazy. Everything is going insane. The crowd are going nuts. It's insane. I don't even know what to say anymore. The last halfling lucha moves up onto Ray Fantastico, and that is Dom Sucia doing a plancha directly down here. Here's 2 silvers and a copper +1 for 4 versus 3 silvers on the defense. 4, also 4, completely knocks him out. That is not what you want to see when you are a halfling luchador. And the only trick Dom Sucia really has left is desperately attempting to just get a grapple in. It's unlikely, but we've seen weirder things. 2 on the offense versus 7 on the defense. That is a reversal. That's damage. He is pushed back into his team captain. And his turn is over. And the moment you've all been waiting for. T-Flex lines up, bounces off of the ropes and does a Cretaceous kick directly into Andre the Hill Giant. That is going to be nothing on the offense versus 4. That is enough for a reversal. It does immediately end her turn, but it is also a crowd pleasing moment which fails. Oh no, oh no. The only thing left to go is Paul Haybale, who is going to run up behind Dom Sucia and attempt to give him a pasty, healing him up. It's not much, but it is something. It has been complete carnage here at the TBC Arena as we finally go into round 2. And sitting here in the crowd tonight, we have got Ranger Squad Delta. They are from our amazing sister show, the 5 Parsecs from Home 17 Elite Runs Challenge. Find it here, only here on Chippers 1, most Tuesdays and Thursdays. The carnage continues as we roll our initiatives. And for the heavy pounders, Slamwise Gamgee gets a 4. For the Lords of the Ring, El Estamago, still desperate to get off of Bulk Bogan's shoulders, gets a 2. The Fire Gecko for Triassic 5 gets a 1. And Andre the Hill Giant also gets a 1. Making it the same as it was last time. We are going in very early on with a pin. Slamwise Gamgee is going to attempt to take out Cody Trax, who gets 2, 1, 2, 3. Cody Trax is out of there. And with that, Slamwise Gamgee is going to move 2 along and attempt a pin on the Pterodacrobat, who gets 1, 1, 2, 3. He kicks out, trying again, no defense, 1, 2, try again, defensive 3, 1, he doesn't manage it. Slamwise Gamgee has exactly 1 attack left. He is going to attempt to take that Pterodacrobat out if it kills him. And no defense, 1, 2, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. It is still standing, well, still lying. El Estamago, still being held by Bulk Bogan, is going to attempt to escape. It's going to be a post grapple. Bulk Bogan gets a 6 versus. That is a 4, that is not enough. Second attempt. That is a 3 versus a 2. Last attempt to do anything. That is a 6 versus a 3. Bulk Bogan has retained holding on to him. The T-Flex, incensed, is going to attempt to attack Andre the Hill Giant. She gets 6 versus a defense of 5. That is enough to hit and damage. Second attack. Another 6 versus a defense of 7. That blocks. Third attack. Still 6. She has been consistent. That's 666. I guess she's the devil dinosaur. Versus 5. That is 2 hits in. Not enough to take out, but enough to cause a bit of bleeding. Andre is in a bit of a tough spot, but is going to attempt a spinning spine buster on the Gecko Fire Breather. If we can take him out, that'll be even more dinosaurs. He doesn't have to fight later. He gets 8 on the offense versus 2 on the defense. That is going to be 3 out of his 4 health taken down in a single round. And also he is dazed. And our boo is minor action and movement point. It may not matter, as he's going to now attempt to just punch him in the face. That is a silver, 2 silvers and a gold for 1. Oh no, that is blocked. Okay, he's on 1 health, but he kind of wishes he wasn't. Next up, Bulk Bogan is simply going to attempt to throw El Estamago out of the ring. He's got to get 3 successes on his dexterity. He failed. El Estamago is just KO'd. Wham bam, a thank you ma'am. He is then going to simply turn around to the little halfling who's been looking funny at him. Poor Ray Phantomatico. Things were going so well until they weren't. That's a gold and a silver plus 1 for 3 versus Ray Phantomatico's defense of 1 silver for nothing. It's only 1 damage, but that may be all it takes as he hits him again. 3 versus 2. 2 versus 2. That is a block. Ray Phantomatico only takes a single point of damage. Pajaro de Fuego is going to go in and attempt to pin some of these, starting with Norbert, who gets 3, kicks out on 1. Second attempt. Okay, that's a 1. 1, 2, 3. Norbert has been pinned. Still got some action points left. He's going to go for the Terran Acrobat. Defensive nothing. 1, 2. That is enough to pin the Terran Acrobat as well. Slowly thinning out the numbers here. He's going to move up 2, and he is going to attempt to just assault the Gecko. If he can get this guy down as well, that will be 3 pins in 1 round. That is a brawl of copper plus 1 for 1, copper plus 1 for 1. You've got 1 action point left. 1 versus 3. Still, that is an amazing amount of carnage that is being caused right now. In the attempt to get rid of one of the other big guys, the Stubby Dunker is going to turn around and attempt an Iron Claw Slam on Andre the Hill Giant. That is 2 silvers plus 1 for 3 versus 3 silvers for 2. That is 1 point of damage, and more importantly, that is a knockdown. Repeat, that is a knockdown. And now the Stubby Dunker is going to just punch him in the back of the head. It doesn't matter. He's got no defense. That is enough to take him out. He is officially unconscious on the job. Resolving to go down swinging, Kurt Ankle Breaker is going to try and take out Footlock Baggins. Getting 3 on his punches versus 1, that is 1 damage. Second attack, 5 versus 2, that is 2 damage. Third punch, 2 versus nothing, that is 3 damage. Going to need to do 2 damage in 1 punch to knock him out. 7 versus nothing. Yeah, that is, Footlock Baggins is completely KO'd, but unfortunately there is nothing the Orcs can do to capitalize on it. Trying to defend his buddy, Centurion King is going to move down here and attempt to grapple the Orc bully, getting 2 versus nothing, that is 1 damage. Second attempt, that is 5 versus 1, that is an additional 2, he's up to 3, this is doable. That is 4 versus nothing, that is up to 5 damage. He's got 8 health, he is going to need to get an incredibly good roll to finish him, but still, 1 versus 5, that is unfortunately a reversal on the last one. Just damage him and push him back into the ropes. Not ideal, but it has done a lot of damage to the last Orc on the field. Ever the heel running in to steal someone else's pin. Dom Sucia is going to run round. Has 5 attempts on Andre the Hill Giant. The defensive 1, 1, 2. He picks out. Second attempt, defensive 1, 1, 2. Third attempt, defensive 0, 1, 2. Oh my God. Fourth attempt, defensive 2, 1, 2. Last one, defensive 0, 1, 2. Oh my God. Andre the Hill Giant just will not go down. However, got a Fire Gecko here with the same ideas. It's got 3 attempts. Defense of nothing. 1, 2. Oh my God. Defensive 3, 1. It kicks out on 1. Last attempt. Defensive 3, kicks out on 1 again. Andre the Hill Giant is absolutely tanking multiple teams. This is insane. I genuinely do not know what to do. The Orcs have nothing. The only person left is, for the humans, is Footlock Baggins, who does get up, I believe. Yes, Footlock Baggins does stand up and is also going to attempt to pin the troll. When the troll goes down, it's basically all over for the Orcs. It took him 1 action point to do this. He's got 4 left. That is defensive 0, 1. Defensive 1. Still kicking out. Defensive 1. This is the last attempt. No, sorry, he got 1 more. And he still doesn't. Andre the Hill Giant has survived like 14 pin attempts at this point, and he is just soldiering on like the hill troll he is. The only people left who have only team who has any wrestlers left is the Lords of the Ring, and they are going to attempt to make sure this thing stays down. Pinta Medea has actions. Defensive 0, 1, 2. Pinta Medea pins Andre the Hill Giant on the 17th attempt. That was truly a remarkable display from the troll, but it is no more. And now Pinta Medea has freed up the middle to actually try and beat someone else. Carrying on this run, he is going to do a pescado directly into Bulk Bogan. Got 3 silvers on the attack for 8 versus 3 silvers on the defense of 4. That is 5 damage, puts him up to 8. He's almost out of there. He's got 2 health remaining, but only 1 action point. The crowd is going absolutely wild as he just attempts a basic grapple just for something. He is literally holding on for dear life. It is 1 copper plus 2 for 2 successes versus a gold and a silver. For 5, he's knocked off, but not enough to actually do anything. Oh my God. Oh my God. Only person left is Ray No, it's not. It's not Ray Fantomatico at all. It's Pajaro del Fuego. He comes out of the shadows of the Stubby Dunker to do an uno, dos, golpe eliminado. It lands down here. 3 silvers versus 3 silvers. That is 6 versus 2. That is enough to bring down the giant with 2 action points to spare. That is defensive 0, 1, 2. Last action point. Defensive 1, 1, 2. Oh my God. As we end round 2, and it is still absolute mayhem here at the TPC Centre. Oh my God. Oh my God. The last thing is Paul Haybale running up to Pinta Medea and offering him a pasty, healing him for 2 stamina. Also here tonight, we have the Abductors from our current game of Space Weirdos, only on Sunday evenings on the Chippers One YouTube channel. The carnage continues as Centurion King attempts to get initiative for his team, getting a 2. Ray Fantomatico aiming for his team. Gets +1 on this roll for a 3. The T-Flex is going to try and continue her rampage. Only gets a 1. And poor Kurt Anklebreaker does get a 3. Which means that the initiative this time is the Lords of the Ring, the Green Bruisers, the Heavy Pounders, and finally the Triassic 5. Ray Fantomatico is going first simply to try and get rid of Bulk Bogan. Bulk Bogan gets a 2. That is 1, 2, nothing. Second attempt. 3, 1. He kicks out on 1. Third attempt. Nothing. 1, 2. Bulk Bogan has finally gone. It's all over. He's got 3 action points left. He's got to work out now what he wants to do with them. He's going to run round to Dom Sucia, and he is going to do a flip directly into the middle of the 2 halflings that aren't on his team. It is a very simple turnbuckle attack of silver versus copper. Copper on the attack for 2, silver on the defense for 1. That is enough to bring Footlock Baggins down. If you be so kind as to lie down. And now it's time for a pin. A defensive 2, 1, 2. He kicks out. That is definitely enough to swing the tide. It's a desperate time for Kurt Anklebreaker, who is going to get up onto the turnbuckle and attempt Das Splat on Centurion King. 3 silvers versus 2 for 2 for the attack versus 4 on the defense. It is almost certainly all over. He's going to just attempt a punch. It's all he can really do right now. 3 versus 1, that is 1 damage. And lastly, 6 versus 2, that is 3 damage, which is some, but unfortunately not enough to actually let him win this. Trying to do something for his team, and knowing that Kurt Anklebreaker can't really do anything anymore, Centurion King is going to move up, and he's going to try and take out the Gecko Fire Breather with a simple grapple before going in for a pin. So that is 3 versus 3. Oh no. Second attempt. 4 versus 1. That is enough to bring down, which means we now have a pin of 1 defense. 1, 2. Oh my god. Someone pin someone. Last attempt. Defense of 0. 1, 2, 3. The Gecko Fire Breather is out. The only members of the Triassic 5 left are the big ones. T-Flex is going to turn her attention to the Lords of the Ring, who are definitely winning this at the moment. And she is going to go for a bite on Pinta Medea. Getting... that is 9 versus 1. That is beaten by 8. Is immediately reduced to stamina 0. He is just down. And she is going to attempt to go for a pin. He gets nothing. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, Pinta Medea is out. And her last action is she is going to attempt to bite the ref. Screw it, she may as well. No one has ever attacked the ref. She is literally on a rampage right now. She's going to get only 3. Defensive silver. 3. The ref does dodge the bites from the giant monster. But still, the T-Flex is doing her thing. Dom Sucia is not happy about any of this and is going to use Ray Fantomatico to attempt a Plansar right here. And it is going to hit. He's going straight for Centurion King. He gets 3 to hit, opposed to 4 defense. Oh no. He could do it again. He can. No, he can't. No, he can't. I'm counting that wrong. He's gonna try and pin Footlock Baggins. He's got 2 action points left. Footlock gets no defense, no offense. Last one. 2, 1, 2, 3. Everyone is just kicking out so much in this game. It is kind of incredible. Slamwise Gamgee is not going to take any risks. She's going to run into the ropes, bounce off into a flying headbutt into Kurt Anklebreaker, getting 3 attack versus 2 defense, leaves him on 1 health, and there's not really much either side can do at this point. He is slightly better on the offense than defense, so he's going to go for 1 defense. 2, he gets +1. 2 versus 2. And 3 versus 2. That is enough to bring him down. Slamwise Gamgee has one action point left. Defensive nothing. 1, 2, 3. The entirety of the Green Bruisers has officially been KO'd, and the earth itself shakes. The Stubby Dunker is going to turn, bounce off the ropes, and hit the wall into both Centurion King and Dom Sucia, getting 7. Centurion King goes down, and Dom Sucia Dom Sucia absolutely goes down. Oh, Dom Sucia, sorry, Dom Sucia is on 1 health. He is still up, but the Stubby Dunker is going to attempt to pin Centurion King. Centurion King gets 1. There's 1, 2, 3. Yes. Centurion King is officially out of the game. The only person left, apart from, of course, the ref, is Pájaro de Fuego, who is going to run up to his mate, and he is going to jump in with an uno, dos, golpe, lade, straight into the T-flex. It is 3 versus 7, which immediately stops him in his tracks, but doesn't actually take him out. So we will take what we can get. Paul Haybale is going to run around and is going to attempt to give the poor fellow a pasty, healing him up. He's healing Ray Fantomatico, mainly because Pájaro de Fuego is actually not damaged yet. Give that about 30 seconds, though. Last up, we have forgotten this. Footlock Baggins might be able to stand up. He does not. As we go into round 4. We are getting into the final stages as Pájaro de Fuego attempts to get initiative for his team, getting 6. That's good. It's very, very good. The T-Flex gets 4. Again, very, very good. And Slamwise Gamgee gets 2. So Pájaro de Fuego going first. And Pájaro is going to attempt again the uno, dos, golpe, eliminado on the T-Flex. That is 5 on the offense versus 7 on the defense. He's going to try it again, just bouncing off the same buddy. He still can't. That's not how any of this works. Oh no, he really needs that to land. Screw it. Attacking is about all he's got. So that is 2 versus 2 versus 6. 5 will cause him a point of damage and end his turn. The T-Flex is angry now. She is going to move over here and she is going to attempt to bite Ray Fantomatico. Getting 6 versus nothing. That is oh my god. Yeah, that's 2 damage. He's bleeding. And wait, that's 3 damage and he's bleeding. She's not going to bother using the shove. Instead, she is just going to bite him again. Just needs to do 2 more damage. That is 10 versus 1. Yep, that is instant KO'd. And she is going to put her full weight on trying to pin the poor guy. That is no defense. 1, 2, 3. Oh my god! I think it's actually worse that it wasn't that close. But yes, she just steps on a poor halfling. The casualties are mounting up. There's very little left. Slamwise Gamgee is gonna have to try something, but I think the Triassic 5 have won this. Slamwise Gamgee is gonna go up against the ropes for a flying headbutt into poor Dom Susia. It is gonna be 2 silvers on the attack for 5 versus 1 silver on the defense for 3. That is 2 damage. And then he's going to bounce off of the halfling back into the ropes to do it again. That is 2 versus nothing. That is enough to bring him down. Going to go for a pin to try and finish him off. That is 1, 2, nothing. Oh my God. The only people left to actually go for I'm going to try and revive Dom Susia down here. Fails. Stubby Dunker is going to start by attempting to pin Dom Susia here. That's no defense. 1, 2, 3. Yep. Then going to take a single step forward and is going to attempt to pin Footlock Baggins, who has a defense of 2, 1, 2, 3. And lastly, because he can, he's going to turn. He is going to just, I think he's just going to, he's going to grapple. He's going to pick up Slamwise Gamgee. That is 3 versus 1 copper. That is nothing. It's only 1 point of damage, but it is just about picking up, crushing him, and sending a message. Truly, he is a beast. Paul Haybale, the only person left at all to activate, is going to attempt to give a pass deed to Pajara del Fuego and is going to accidentally poison him. Things are going very badly as we go into round 5. The last initiative roll is basically between the last people on each team. Pajara de Fuego gets 4. The T-Flex, gets 5. The T-Flex gets 4. And Slamwise Gamgee gets 3. The initiative remains exactly as it was before. Not that really anyone can do anything. Pajara de Fuego is going to move up. No, he's not. No, he's not. Pajara de Fuego is just going to try and do any damage at all to the T-Flex. With some grapples, he gets 2 to hit versus 1. That is 1. Gets nothing. 3, 4, and 5. There's a whole point of damage to the T-Flex. The T-Flex is now going to move up to here and is going to take a chunk out of Slamwise Gamgee, which is going to be real unpleasant to watch as she gets 4 as opposed to Slamwise is nothing. That is 2 damage and a bleed. She's got 2 more action points and she needs 2 more damage. That is 8 versus 6. Yes, that is Slamwise Gamgee down. And yeah, she is going to try pinning him. One success. 1, 2, 3. Didn't even bother counting. What's the point? The humans have been completely KO'd right now. Paul Haber is going to attempt to give another pasty to Pajarro de Fuego. Going to stun him again as the stubby dunker is just going to walk up to him. Yeah, let's go for an Iron Claw Slam. That is 3 successes versus nothing. That is a point of damage and worse, a knockdown. It is 3 bronze versus 3 bronze, but that's still all it really needs to be. A defense of 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. The stubby dunker pins the last fighter, and the Triassic 5 are the inaugural champions of the Battle of 4 Armies. And now, if you will join us at the stage, it is time to crown the first ever holder of the Warlord Championship belts. After tallying all of the results of all of the matches, it is my pleasure to say that the winners of the first ever Warlord's belt are in fact the Green Bruisers. It was a close fought fight, and also the Triassic 5 were here. But yes, you have shown a real flair for brutality and violence, and it is my pleasure to announce... Wait, hey, who turned out the lights? Wait, what's going on? What's going on? Ah! I will not allow this belt to be held by such lumbering brutes. Ladies, attack! What? Who are these people? What's going on? We are the Twisted Shadows, and we are here to take what is ours.